Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend, Chad Marco. Make sure you guys attack the like button. Check out my other social media. Make sure you check out me on Twitch on Friday Night Gaming Stream. And yeah, let's get to the video. So, recently I just put out the QT314 song from the Robot Music 9003 album. So if you guys are hearing this, I'm already dead. No, I'm kidding. Okay. But you know, I put that song out and I feel good about it. It's a good song. And I made a little AMV to go with it. And the AMV, or the anime that I used for the little video, came from an anime called Mysterious Girlfriend X. And it's an anime, it's a romance anime about this guy, this young boy who meets this strange girl, and he ends up tasting her saliva because she was drooling on the table, and it made him sick. And it wasn't the drool that made him sick, it was because he was lovesick, because he got a taste of her without actually being with her. And so a big part or concept as far as this anime is them becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, and then slowly wrapping up the romance and intimacy between each other. And one of the things that they do, they share spit as sort of a intimate bond or communication method. I hate to say it, but the anime I thought was kind of mid, but it definitely has some interesting themes. Not something I would heavily recommend, but it's pretty interesting. But the reason why I say all that is because as I was going back making this, it made me think back to when I was around like 20, 21 years old, because that's when I first watched this anime. It was, goddamn, probably about 10 years ago. And it made me think about those threads where people talk about missing out on young love. And whenever I see this anime, it makes me think about that, because I had a moment during that time when I was watching it where I really felt heavily that sense of, oh man, I'm missing out on young love. But it wasn't just the anime itself. Like, the anime gave me that feeling when I watched it at the time, because it's pretty sweet. But it was actually, it had more to do with my friend coming home from college. So let me tell you this story real quick. So my friend was kind of like me throughout high school. He didn't really get girls or anything like that. But when he went to college, man, he just started going crazy. And after a while, he got his first serious girlfriend, and she was cute. She was a cutie up and down. She was kind of crazy, but she was cute. And I remember he would tell me little stories about things that she would do. And one of the things that stood out to me was just how he would say she would like give him gas money. She bought him a PS3 or 4, whatever it was. And I never forgot that, because I always thought of having a girlfriend as being like, oh, you got to do all the work. And, you know, hearing that, it made the whole thing sound kind of cool, because she was really holding him down in a way. And I remember when he came back from college, he had, like, I think we were hanging out, and then she had showed up. She pulled up because she was wondering where he was at. And they kind of got into a little argument in front of my house. And I remember I was kind of watching them, and she was looking, I hope if he's listening, I mean, well, look, they're broken up at this point, so it shouldn't matter. But I remember when I looked out the window and I saw her, like, she was looking good, because she had on like this skin tight, like dress skirt or something. Oh man. I was like, golly. And I just remember the combination of, because I was literally watching the anime before he had came over that day. And so I'm watching this anime about young love, and then I'm seeing my friend come over, and I'm seeing him with this cute girl. And even though they were arguing, you know, it wasn't like super serious. It just kind of looked like the normal boyfriend girlfriend shit. And then I think he had left shortly after. And I remember I came back to my room. I sat in my room, and I pressed play on the anime, and it was right at the ED. And I love the ED, or the ending theme for this anime, by the way. And I just remember when I was watching it, like it all just kind of hit me at once. I was thinking about the fact that here I am in my early 20s, and I never had experiences like that. I never had experiences like what I'm watching in the anime. I never had experiences like what I just saw in real life with my friend. And I can honestly say that was one of the few times where I really felt a strong sense of not only debt filled with no girlfriend, but like I was missing out. And this was a time when I was already embracing being a virgin and being single and all that. But I think at the same time, I was still kind of vulnerable to those feelings, because I hadn't yet found like my own sense of purpose and the self-love that sustains me. Like I hadn't really become the man that I am today. So I still kind of had a void, right? And I think that's why it had hit me so hard. And I know even though I was like in my early 20s, like there's still plenty of time for romance and all that. But I think even then I knew that the writing was on the wall. I saw the writing on the wall, and there was no way I was just gonna snap out of it and just start doing what he was doing. Because quite frankly, I was a mess at the time. And this was before I even went to the mental hospital and all that. So I had dark days ahead before I would finally hit my stride. And so, I definitely still had a void in myself at that point. And I think that's why I felt like, I kind of felt, I wouldn't even say sad. It was just like, damn, like I've never had that, and I'm probably never gonna have that. And I can remember, like, I had moments like that sporadically before I really started to become happy Super Chad Marco. Not a lot, but every now and then I would, because I was really more so a homebody during this time. So I wasn't like constantly exposed to situations like what I saw with my friend. But you know, being online, I saw things like couples being together. I was involved in different like social media groups, like the R9K Tiny Chat, and then you would see girls up there, and then they were pairing off with the chats, the cyborgs and shit. You know, like this was a time where I definitely had a void, and this is when I was even seriously considering dating a trap. Like I really had a ways to go, and it wasn't until I was like 25 that I would say that it finally came full circle, where I was like, okay, like I'm fully embracing the virginity and the singleness, but not only that, I'm happy with it. I don't have that void. I have my own sense of purpose, and I know how to make myself happy. I know how to make myself fulfilled. And yeah, I would say it wasn't until about 25 where I hit that. And so with all that being said, how do I feel now though? How do I feel about it now? Would you believe me if I said I don't give a fuck? But seriously, you guys know at this point I'm very much over it all. And one thing that I think of is, you know, going back to my friend, I remember one thing that he said, I'll never forget it. We were at the park, and this was after he broke up with this girl. And he told me, he was like, out of all the experiences he had with women, out of all the women he had been with, there wasn't one that he could call up and ask for a favor or ask them for anything. You know, and he was basically telling me that out of everything he had been through, he really didn't have anything to show for it. And I don't bring that up to say like, oh, haha, I told you. But I think his experience kind of serves as an example of that, you know, relationships and quote unquote young love is not everything is chopped up to be all the time. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Certainly some people, they marry their high school sweetheart, they have children, they get the house, and everything is good, you know. But I think at the same time, there are a lot of people who they don't get that happy ending. They end up in toxic relationships, and even looking back, they were arguing in front of my house because their relationship was toxic, you know. And I didn't realize it at the time because I wasn't really red pill the way that I am now. So my stupid ass, I'm sitting there envying this guy who's actually going through a toxic relationship. But that's beside the point. You know, in the end, I feel like it all worked out for me. But it took me to recognize that I did have a void and figure out how to correct that. And now I can look back and say, you know, even though my teens and 20s were devoid of any romance, I still feel pretty good about that era of my life because I had so much fun pushing myself to be better. I was enjoying my hobbies and spending time with my friends and family between it all. And I got you guys, you know, and so now it's like, I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with the fact that that ship has sailed. You know, I'm 31 years old now, and you know, again, just going back and making this video for the song and looking at little clips of the anime, it just made me think back to that time when I really felt like a sense of like I was missing out. And then, cause it's so interesting, cause I'm so far removed from that person. Like I feel so differently. Like I look at it all completely differently now because I feel like I've evolved so much past that, you know. And yeah, it's what can I say? I just don't care anymore. You know, it's gone. And I think the final point I'll make, because I see a lot of people talk about, like, this is a common subject you'll see on the internet, on 4chan and stuff like that. And I think for me, really what it came down to is that, and I think anyone, is that you gotta have something. You know, if you don't have A, then you gotta have B. If you don't have B, you gotta have C. And I think the reason why I felt bad about it during that time was that I didn't have that thing yet. I didn't have that sense of purpose. I didn't have that self-love. I didn't have the attitude. Like I wasn't really complete enough myself yet. And I think I was looking outside of myself to fill a void that was there. And I'm glad that I had the wisdom and the right frame of mind to know that I need to go inside to figure this shit out, which is exactly what I did, you know. And once I got going, that was it. You know, and so now I look at it completely different. But it's, you know, it's Valentine's Day, and I know this is a time where we all end up, you know, sometimes they call it Singles Awareness Day, and so we all end up kind of just reflecting on our state. If you do happen to be single, then yeah, you end up just kind of thinking about it, like, oh, why am I single? Do I want to be single? This, that. But that's really what's been on my mind, because I just finished this video, and I can't look at that anime without thinking about that day, without thinking about that time in my life, because it really was a moment in time for me. Like it was such an intense feeling of that feel with no girlfriend that I could just never forget it. But I'm glad that I was able to grow past that and find my own way and find my own joys that I could cherish for that period of my life. Moving forward, who knows? You know, I still have an opportunity for early 30s love, mid 30s love, right? As boring as that sounds, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you on the next. So, Johnny.